Imagine this. You and your friends are watching a race. Most of you have a favorite in this race and are excited to see which racer comes out on top and which friend will have bragging rights for the night. Things are going well until two drivers get together, and then everything just snowballs from there. And now all of a sudden, a few of the friends in the group are now mad at something or someone. Meanwhile, one of the group is happy because his driver won. Ever have a race like this? I have. And it's a race that still lives on in some sense of infamy, but is still often talked about every once in a while because of the stupidity of a couple different moments that, no joke, resulted in 3 different black flags against 3 different drivers for 3 different reasons, basically at the exact same time. And these 3 drivers were 3 of the drivers that 3 people in our group rooted for, which makes it much worse. This is the story of that race. This is my story of the 2008 North Carolina Education Lottery 200, otherwise known as the Triple Black Flag Race. Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday, keep those 2 names in mind, started on the front row. The race got started and Busch took an early lead. After a few laps, everything settled in, raced at a good pace, and there were no issues until lap 8 when John Wood and Brian Scott got together, collecting Donnie Leah.
One truck gets turned around, another one straightens out before he gets into one. That will bring out our first caution. That's the 71 of Donnie Leah going around.
There's Brian Scott, the 16, the Albertson Chevrolet.
That's what you got to understand about this place, Phil. You can wreck on the straightaway. Those guys were just coming underneath the start-finish line, riding down the front of the straightaway, got all tangled up.
A lot of tire smoke right there.
It's
Brian
oil.
Scott.
Tons of
bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of oil coming out on the
on the apron.
You need to shut that engine down. Donnie Leah off of 2 12th place finishes in a row. A little bit of momentum for that truck. Doesn't look like it's hurt that bad, Phil. A little bit of damage there on that left front corner.
Take another look here for Advanced Auto Parts aerial. Oh, 3 wide coming out of 4. That doesn't work normally going through this quad oval.
If John Wood had some sort of a problem, then he caught the quarter panel of Brian Scott, and Brian in turn made some contact with Donnie Leah.
Pretty innocent looking, but it turned out to be a mess.
Yeah, and for some reason it didn't look like, I mean, there was just a little contact there, but then we saw so much oil, it seemed like, on the front end of this 16.
I think it busted it when it hit the grass.
The grass.
It dug down into the grass and broke his oil cooler somehow.
There's also some access, the paved access roads there. It may have been the transition there. There you see the contact between Brian Scott and Donnie Leah. Right there, looks like it may have when it. You can see all the debris flying right there.
Wow.
They didn't really make that hard a contact with each other. All that damage, you know, that splitter just dug into the grass and maybe the asphalt there. But look at the oil everywhere.
No splitter on that. Yeah, take a look at the windshield as well. The grass. Humpy Wheeler's not going to be happy about that.
See all the fluid running out from underneath the front of it? That's oil underneath the front of his.
The restart was on lap 17. A few laps into this run, David Starr had a bit of a moment in turn 2. As David was regathering his truck, Justin Marks blows a left front tire right in front of David, and thus we have our second caution of the event. All but 4 drivers initially pitted under that yellow. Phil Parsons refers to someone as a scary-looking dude while continuing the "pick on Rick Allen when he breathes" meme popular today amongst the Joy Boys.
Hey, I think we need to let the fans at home know who that scary-looking dude was trying to break in that garage. Of course, first of all, let's take a look at maybe one of our announcers here. Oh, look at this.
Did we not do this? We did this earlier.
I think that was Edwin Moses.
Look at our that's our producer right there, folks. We can have, look at how high I am over this truck.
Great hair, too. Great hair.
Yeah, his hair's flowing. The thief, I thought, was a little bit exuberant over gaining access to the garage. It was like his first time he'd ever broken into anything. It actually worked. He's like, yes.
He was a novice thief.
Yes, he was. He was. I'm glad the trucks are getting ready to race again.
Yeah, me too.
John Mickle struggled immensely on the restart as Kyle Busch went from 4th to 1st on the first lap of that restart. Andy Lally had a brief scrub off the wall. Ted Musgrave had a scare in the 3 wide situation as he nearly crashed Matt Crafton. A long green flag run ensued, with pit stops under green becoming a thing. The only issue the entire time during that transition was Stacey Compton missing a lug nut during his pit stop, so he had to come back in to put the lug nut back on. The racing kept going on and things were going well for the race until a debris caution with 36 laps to go. A few strategies played out after some pit stops, as Ken Schrader was on the tail end of the lead lap, as Todd Bodine was the leader, who, along with Eric Darnell, 2 more names to keep in mind later on, stayed out. Jack Sprague took 2 tires, and everyone else who had pitted took 4. And now, the mayhem begins. Eric Darnell passes Todd Bodine for the lead, but as Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday were racing for 3rd, this happens.
I'm thinking these two. I'm thinking Hornaday and Busch think right now they're racing.
He gets loose. He gets into the side of the 51. They get into the wall. Hornaday spinning in front of the field. They're all scattering behind him. Caution comes out. The 33 and 51 made contact.
The 33 got loose down underneath the 51. Got sideways, knocked the 51 into the wall. Ron didn't hit anything. His truck's fine.
Hornaday gets loose, hits Kyle Busch, Busch hits the wall, and Hornaday slides through the grass. Now that was part 1 of the mayhem between my racing group, as one of the racing group roots for Busch, and another roots for Hornaday. Oh, don't worry, we're not done though. The restart was with 27 laps to go, and things went surprisingly well until Dennis Setzer gets loose under Andy Lally and spins. Justin Marks, Ted Musgrave, and John Mickle all collided, and their days were done, as Setzer managed to continue. The restart now comes with 16 laps to go, as Eric Darnell now leads Johnny Benson. Matt Crafton tries to pull a Ron Hornaday on Todd Bodine. Johnny Benson stops Crafton's move, and Crafton falls in line behind Bodine again. Oh, don't worry. All 5 play a major part into the final portions of this race. Also, keep Crafton's move in mind. There was some close racing for a bit. Just as Johnny Benson was about to pass Eric Darnell for the lead, a debris caution came out negating the attempt. During this era, single-file restarts under 10 laps to go were a thing. So now this is where this race's nickname comes into play. So, like Matt Craft in the previous restart, Johnny Benson got to the restart zone and then passed Eric Darnell for the lead in Ron Hornaday fashion. No problem, right? Wrong!
Matt Crafton goes by him.
What a heartbreak for Eric Darnell.
Look at, here comes Matt Crafton. He looks to the outside of Johnny Benson. They go down the backstretch side by side. Crafton looking for his first win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And he's got Chad McCumbee all over him.
Look at Todd going down to the inside.
Ooh, I love Craftsman Truck Series racing. McCumbee looks to the outside of
You're fine.
Crafton.
Bunched off the wall. McCumbee off the wall. Todd Bodine now second. It's Matt Crafton in front of Todd Bodine, but for how long? Here comes the 33 of Ron Hornaday.
We're getting a report that the 23 of Johnny Benson is going to be black flagged for jumping the restart.
NASCAR claims that Johnny jumped the restart and black flagged him, even though all the trucks had freight trained him by that point. Now, this was fine as long as you were in the restart zone, as Matt Crafton proved on the previous restart. So why was it a problem when Johnny did it? The answer will be later on in the video, because in the midst of that, Johnny gets freight trained for the lead, Matt Crafton takes over the top spot, Chad McCumbee hits the wall trying to get to Crafton, the Benson fan of the group is furious over the black flag, I'll give you one guess who that was, Bodine is battling Crafton for the lead, then Hornaday passes Bodine for second, and then this happens.
They bump as they go across the start-finish line. It's still Crafton in front. Oh, here goes Hornaday. He slides across, and he will slide across the infield, and that will bring out the caution once again here at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
So Bodine spins Hornaday. The Busch fan of the group was happy about that because of what happened earlier. The Hornaday fan of the group was furious, as was Hornaday.
And Ron's upset.
Right,
You better
Hornaday.
calm down. He needs to calm down.
Ron Hornaday has picked up speed. He knows who he's going for.
We're talking about a championship here. We got to be calm.
Ron Hornaday did not like what just happened to him, and he's letting Todd Bodine know all about it right now.
Well, as you said, Michael, Ron Hornaday didn't really quite have Todd cleared when he exited turn 4. Pulled right out in front of him.
Look at the damage to the right front. Ron Hornaday coming into this race, your points leader, and now problems with the right side of that truck. Ray.
Well, Hornaday obviously has to put a right front tire on there. He's on the radio, very, very displeased with Todd Bodine. And Hornaday, of course, has pulled all the way up to pit here, so I'm sure there may be a possible penalty coming from NASCAR involved with that, too. They're going to jack it up and get right side tires on this Camping World Chevy.
Well, you can't move up to pit, and that's the equivalent of what Ron did there. He drove past the field, then came straight on pit road. That's a lap penalty if you move up to pit, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets called out on that.
So intentional or not, after showing displeasure towards Todd Bodine by scooting him up close to the wall, Hornaday does what is called a pull up to pit and is promptly black flagged an entire lap for that. Meanwhile, Todd Bodine is also black flagged for over-aggressive driving for what he did to Hornaday.
Sideways to bring out this most recent caution. The guy who helped him get sideways, NASCAR said, you go to the back of the longest line. So Todd Bodine will go to the back.
Meanwhile, all of that is while Johnny Benson had to serve his questionable black flag from a couple laps prior. So, yeah, Johnny Benson, Todd Bodine, and Ron Hornaday were all black flagged at basically the same time for 3 different reasons. Johnny for allegedly jumping the restart, Todd for over-aggressive driving, and Ron for pulling up to pit and showing his displeasure towards Todd Bodine. While most everyone was pretty much in agreement over Bodine and Hornaday's penalties, no one was in agreement over Benson's penalty. Not even the speed booth agreed with NASCAR.
What happened on this restart?
Let's see if we can take a look at this
Johnny
restart.
Benson got black flag for it. Johnny goes to the outside.
We can't see the flagman.
I don't know that Johnny deserved to get black flag for that, because it looked like Eric Darnell had some sort of a problem because he pulled down to the inside and left that lane open.
Well, look, everybody's passing Eric Darnell.
Watch his rear tire here. Watch his rear tire when he jumps in the throttle. Looks like he spins the wheels. It just doesn't go. You see it wiggle like that. He was spinning the tires. As you mentioned, 5 or 6 trucks went by him. I don't know that it's fair to black flag that 23 of Johnny Benson.
That's just incredible camera work, guys. Great job.
To the outside. And we're hearing that because Johnny Benson did not adhere to the black flag that was shown for the restart.
Here he comes onto pit road now.
Now actually he's making his way onto pit road.
We couldn't see the flagman. You know, the flagman is what signifies to go racing.
Right.
We couldn't tell whether that flag was waving or not.
And there's a definitive area where they will restart that race, and maybe they hadn't got there yet, but it looked like Eric Darnell just spun the tires, pulled over to the inside, and unfortunately Johnny had a good run going past him, and NASCAR brought him to pit road.
Regardless, under the threat of being shown the black flag with the white stripe, which means you would no longer be scored until you serve your penalty, Johnny was forced to pit under the caution. So now we're in a green-white checkered situation. The Crafton fan of the group is nervous. The Bodine fan of the group also roots for Brendan Gaughan, and he was third. The driver in between them was Chad McCumbee. So this is how it went down.
The top 2 looking for their first win of their career. 2 laps of racing to go. Green flag in the air. We're racing at Lowe's.
He got a good launch.
He did.
He held them slow, but he got a good launch. Did not spin the tires.
And you can see the result of holding them slow. Some guys in the back got some huge runs. Mike Skinner down to the bottom of Terry Cook. McCumbee didn't get that great of a start, but was able to hold off.
Got a good run here.
Oh, here he comes.
Clear by 1.
Here comes Chad McCumbee in that 8. Here comes Brendan Gaughan. We know Brendan Gaughan will go the high side of the racetrack. Matt Crafton protecting the bottom of the racetrack. Out of 4.
He's there.
Here comes Eric Darnell. He's underneath Rick Crawford for the 4th spot.
The final lap at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Matt Crafton leading by 2 truck lengths over Chad McCumbee.
I like that corner by Crafton. He ran the middle of the track. Hopefully he'll do that again down in 4. I think he needs to run the middle.
One final chance. Here comes Chad McCumbee. He looks down low. Now he peeks up high. Here comes Brendan Gaughan on the high side. Coming out of turn number 4. Can Matt Crafton hold on to win his first ever truck race? He will. Matt Crafton wins at Lowe's.
So yeah, between Busch crashing, Darnell spinning his tires on a restart, and 3 other contenders being black flagged, that is how Matt Crafton got his very first win in the Truck Series.
He is ready, isn't he?
And a moment he will not soon forget. You talk about smile from ear to ear and the tears starting to flow. Man, congratulations. Describe the emotions of win number 1 in NASCAR, Matt.
Finally, we can shut them up. Now they can say, when's the second one coming? Can't thank these guys enough behind me. This Menard Chevy Silverado was awesome. Second run, we got loose and never gave up. It's all about these guys behind us. This truck got wrecked in Kansas and had a really good truck there, and they didn't give up. They took it back to the shop and rebuilt it and made it as good as ever.
It was unbelievable holding them off on the green-white checker, but talk about the importance of having the lead for those last couple of laps.
Track position was everything, and track position everything tonight. Top was it. I mean, if you got pinned down, you got stuck down at the bottom, so I wasn't going to give them my top that I've been running all night down in 1 and 2. This thing was just awesome. I can't thank these guys enough. I mean, really good group, guys. Been together for 2 years now. They're awesome. Small group of guys from Ohio. Thank Duke and Ronda Thorson.
The Crafton fan of the group was the only one happy that night. The Bodine/Gone fan and the Busch fan were mad at Hornaday.
There is no doubt plenty of frustration for Ron Hornaday, and we just saw the replay. Take us through what happened late in the race with Bodine right behind you.
First of all, I got to apologize, Kyle Busch. He had a heck of a truck. We were going to have a good run. We were running him down towards the end before that yellow came out, but he knows I'll race him hard, and I got loose and got into him coming off the corner, and he got the short end of the stick, but my hat's off to him. Rowdy is on a roll, and it's fun to race with him. But the other deal, you're going to have to ask Bodine. We were pretty good friends, and it's a shame to put somebody's life in hand at 170 mile an hour and flat try to wreck them. And, you know, when you get loose enough and all that stuff, but when you flat try to take somebody out. But for one, Camping World Chevrolet looked pretty good, though, so that's all I can say. Mark Smith, heck of a job. We got a hole in the radiator, and she lasted, so that's all you can say. I mean, well, what a tough disappointment.
Hornaday apologizing to Busch didn't quell the anger of the Busch fan. Meanwhile, Hornaday's interview angered the Bodine/Gone fan even further. The Hornaday fan was mad at Bodine.
Well, the bottom line is I did wreck him. Didn't do it on purpose. I was, you know, he got under me off of 4, clean deal. And I was trying to bump draft him up to get up to Matt and race Matt because I couldn't. And, you know, ended up the last deal there. I turned him around. I didn't mind it, didn't mean to. I feel like crap about it. You know, Ron's become a good friend, and I'm sure he's not real happy with me right now, but it wasn't intentional at all.
And when it's all said and done, Ty Bodine finishes 12th here tonight, guys.
Bodine saying he did wreck Hornaday, but not on purpose, angered the Hornaday fan even further. The Benson fan was mad at NASCAR, yet this was just a literal shit show. So that takes care of everything regarding the race, except one thing. What was the exact story behind the black flag against Johnny Benson? We heard Bodine and Hornaday's stories regarding their incident that caused both of their black flags, but what was Johnny's story regarding his? Well, Johnny was not interviewed post-race like Todd and Ron were, but he was on NASCAR Now the following Monday. And this is what he had to say.
John, we got to go back and look at this again, and I want to ask you about your discussions with NASCAR officials afterwards and what you were told about the whole situation.
Well, man, it was just an unfortunate deal. You know, I thought, in the way it was explained, is that the leader takes a green after the double red line. He spun the wheels and actually turned left. You can see him spin and turn left right there. But the flagman didn't throw the green, and he's supposed to throw the green when he goes. That's what they cued it off of. They said, look, you kind of pass him, they didn't throw the green. And I'm like, hold it, you're supposed to go by when the leader goes. And it was back and forth, so we just need a much more clear understanding. If he would have not have spun the wheels and he moseyed, this situation wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But I turned right and choose instead of running in the back of them. I could have run in the back of them, spun them out. It'd probably been all right. You've been
the leader.
And it's, we felt like it was kind of taken away from us. But understand Wayne's position when he's got certain things that he has to go by. But it would be really nice to need to decide kind of, if everybody knew exactly what it is, which everybody thought it was, okay, when the guy goes, they're going to throw the green. He started to go, spun the wheels, and they didn't throw the green yet. So, we were a little bit confused over that.
So did he get black flagged for jumping a restart?
I did. They said I did, but
if he spun the wheels, wasn't he on the gas?
Well, he was on the gas, so he should, and we were past our commitment line. So that's why I think everybody was really surprised that we got black flag. I didn't have one person come up and say, yeah, you deserve that. Everybody said that, man, that was a tough call. It's a judgment call.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't favored toward us.
And the Wayne you mentioned was Wayne Oughton, the series director for NASCAR, who's the referee up in the tower.
So, Johnny went to NASCAR post race for an explanation. That's a brave move. And NASCAR's explanation to him as to why they gave him the black flag was, even though Johnny was in the restart zone and Eric Darnell clearly spun the tires, they didn't throw the green yet. Huh? To the best of my knowledge, nothing like that has happened before or since, so, Perhaps something was added to some effect to prevent an issue like that from ever happening again, but the pessimistic skeptic in me also thinks otherwise. Yeah, let's just say that was a bunch of phony baloney. Despite the answers regarding the event, and the mayhem, and the controversies that happened in it, the 2008 North Carolina Education Lottery 200 will forever be known as the race where Matt Crafton got his very first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win. But to our racing group, we know it as the Triple Black Flag Race.